Okay, let's talk about something very interesting in mathematics, which is dimensions. And in dimension is actually a very vast field and a lot of various concepts that we can discuss about. But here we're going to talk about some really fundamental concepts. First of all, we're going to talk about what is a point. Then we're going to talk about what is a line. Then we're going to talk about uh, what is a plane, right? So these three things that we're going to talk about. First of all, let's talk about what is a point. Point is basically just a single dot, like this simple, thing that we can draw, like the smallest of all things that we can just put anywhere is called a point, right? So this point thing actually is having no dimensions. It is a zero dimension thing because it does not actually go into a particular direction or dimension. It actually is just existing there, and we just need to connect a lot of points in order to make a line, right? So we can just connect all small points and we can make a line. A line is actually one dimensional, so point is actually zero dimensional, zero dimensions. Line is actually one dimensional because it actually goes in one dimension, right? It can all the points can connect together in one dimension and they can make a line, right? And then what you can do is that you can make or connect many different lines together, many different lines like this. You can just put them parallel to each other, an infinite number of lines put parallel to each other, and then you what you get is actually called a plane, which is a two-dimensional thing because it has two dimensions. If you talk about a plane, it actually goes upward as well as you know right and leftwards, as well as upwards and downwards. So it goes in two dimensions. It goes up and down, it goes left and right, so it is a two-dimensional space, and you can actually calculate the area of that, and so various other things that you can do with two-dimensional figures. But what you need to understand is that whenever you just connected some infinite zero-dimensional things, you get a one-dimensional thing, which is a line, and then you connect many different one-dimensional things, which are lines, you get a two-dimensional plane. And what if you just connect many different planes together? Then you get a three-dimensional figure, which could be any object, basically a real world that is lying around us. This whole life that we are living in since we are born in this whole universe, every single thing is three-dimensional, right? Every single thing is three-dimensional, and all those three-dimensional things, like around you can see your fan, you can see your bed, you can see your laptop, you can see your mobile phone, you yourself, everything around you is three-dimensional. They are made up of infinite two-dimensional planes put parallel to each other, and you get a three-dimensional figure. Like for example, I can make it like this. So something like this. So this at the back is one plane, and then you can just let me do it in a different color. Then at the front there's another plane, and then in the middle there's another plane, and all these planes are lying parallel to each other, connected infinitely, infinite number of planes connected together to make a three-dimensional figure. So that's the concept of point, line, and plane, and any three-dimensional figure. So something interesting that I want to ask you at the end of this video, if you want to talk about the fourth dimension, which we cannot perceive, but of course, if we follow the pattern, if zero-dimensional infinite things infinitely combine together to make a one-dimensional thing, and infinitely many one-dimensional things combine to make a two-dimensional thing, and infinitely many two-dimensional things combine to make a three-dimensional thing. What if infinitely many three-dimensional things combine? Will they be making a fourth-dimensional thing? If yes, then what we can actually perceive fourth dimension as, like fourth dimension, although we cannot perceive it, but of course we know that it has to be some infinitely many three-dimensional things connected together to make a fourth dimensional thing. So can you think of those three-dimensional things that combine together to make a fourth dimensional thing? I leave it to you. You can have your search going on or research going on about it, and let's see what you come up with.